Welcome to a look into the future. What would you do if you could go into the future and ask yourself a question? Luckily, we don't have to invent time travel. We can just ask the time traveler himself, Paul Latham. We're very lucky to have Paul here today because he brings three amazing things with him. He's built a successful accounting practice in the UK, so he understands accountants. In fact, he built his firm into an advisory powerhouse, which sold for $45 million in 2001. He has taken a business public, building it to a market value in excess of $400 million. So he understands what business owners need and value and what we as accountants need to provide to them. And finally, as I said, we don't need to invent time travel. We can just ask Paul and learn from the transition he made 20 years ago in the UK into providing business advisory services as that trend has come to the US today. I know every time I get a chance to talk to Paul, I'm always amazed by what I can learn from him. I'm Garrett Wagner, your Entrepreneurial CPA Channel host, and I'm excited to be joined by the legendary Paul Latham of Hayden Rock Solutions. Now, Paul, always great to have you here. And today, I want to ask you more about something we've talked about before. I want to understand how you go about understanding your clients' needs and the need, especially for a diagnostic process, so you can truly scale your practice.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Garrett. So as we said before, CPAs really need to understand clients' needs properly if they're going to become forward-looking and if they're going to be able to be proactive. But as I said previously, most CPAs, they understand very little about their client's business or planning needs, and they have no system to obtain it. So we discovered we needed this systematic diagnostic process. And it sounds really obvious. And the truth is, we definitely thought previously that we knew our clients. After all, we'd been working with many of them for many, many years. So we always assumed that we knew our clients. But we only discovered after we'd introduced a proper systematic diagnostic process that we really only knew them within a very narrow lens. We knew them when it came to their accounting needs, and we knew them when it came to their tax compliance needs and perhaps sort of peripheral aspects like that. But we didn't really understand their broader business needs or personal planning needs. And the truth is, once we introduced a systematic diagnostic process and we asked them questions about their business problems and their goals and their personal planning needs, then we discovered really a couple of things. First of all, we discovered that we identified lots of new planning potential work. And secondly, we identified that the more we did it, the more confidence we gained in the diagnostic process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's really big because I know me and Dr. Sean talk a lot about as well of confidence. And CPAs, especially in the US today, we don't always have the best confidence in what we're doing. We're nervous. We're not sure how to kind of get into more proactive services and have those conversations. And we really struggle with that. So I think that'd be a great one. If you could expand a little bit more, maybe give us an example from the past of how you and the team at Latham gained that confidence.
Yeah, no, it's actually really important. And I think most CPAs, when they're making this transformation, have that almost crisis of confidence. And bearing in mind, we did this 20 odd years ago, so there was nobody to learn from. But what we did to get over that crisis of confidence was we tested the diagnostic first on new clients. Because as I used to say to my colleagues, people that work for us, what's the worst that can happen? We don't win that particular new client or so on. It's not the end of the world. And what we did was we began to build a process where every time we brought on a new client, the very first thing we did was a diagnostic, and we told the new clients that was the first thing we did. And what then happened as a result of doing that was we identified, well, first of all, the clients actually enjoyed the process and they told us a lot, and we discovered way more than we ever knew about any of our other businesses. So our confidence gained. And then what we sort of realized was that we really should do this with our existing clients because it was working so well with the new clients. And at first we said, well, obviously, we've been working with these clients for 5 or 10 years. We should perhaps be able to fill in this diagnostic on their behalf. And what we discovered was if we tried to fill the diagnostic in on behalf of our existing clients, even if they'd been with us as a client for 10 years, we couldn't do it. In other words, we didn't know them as well as we thought we did. And what we hit on was quite a nice form of words, which was to say to existing clients, since you joined us, we've changed the way we work. And the truth is, perhaps if you're joining today as a new client, you get a better service than if you joined 5 or 10 years ago. So I'll tell you what, why don't we treat you like a new client and at no cost onboard you as if you were a new client? And those words, the magic words were, let's treat you like a new client. And those existing clients love that. And they enjoyed being treated like a new client. They enjoyed the diagnostic process because it actually started to get them thinking more about their business. And the result was that we identified a lot of new opportunities that we just didn't know existed. Now, bearing in mind, we did that 20 odd years ago and we had no one to learn from. But I think what we discovered from this is if we were helping CPAs today to make that transition, we'd start with existing clients rather than new clients, because it's basically an untapped potential for new opportunities. Hope that makes sense.
That does, and I love you hit on some great points there. Of the first one of no matter what the issue is, sometimes we've just got to, as people, whether it's you as a firm, a business, whatever, you got to say to yourself, listen, I'm just going to try it. And what's the worst that happens? And just sometimes it's the best way to deal with that confidence issue of you just got to try something and say, you know what, I'm going to try this today. Today I'm going to commit to doing this. I might succeed, I might fail, but I'm going to try and see what happens. And then number 2, yeah, I mean, I love your pitch on how do you say it to existing clients, hey, we've got a new process. I want to understand you better and make it that like friendly segue into advisory services, that friendly conversation, not to pivot them from, like we talked before, backwards looking to forwards looking, and just that friendly little nudge in the right direction. So Paul, as always, thank you for sharing this amazing insight from the future. So as we talk about the changes coming to today's firms, I want to ask you, for everybody watching today, is your firm ready for the future and ready to shift into advisory services? Hopefully, you're more prepared after watching this episode and soaking up the knowledge that Paul and the Hayden Rock team have to share. If you're watching though, and you want to see how ready you really are to become the most relevant advisor for your clients and maximize your business potential, take the Biz Survey and find out. As a special offer for watching this episode, we'll provide you with the results of your Biz Score and a quick pub meeting, as Paul likes to say. A link is below. I encourage you watching out there to take the test and find out if your firm is ready for future success. Thanks everybody for watching today. Click the link above, subscribe to our YouTube channel, stay up to date on the amazing content that we're providing. And as always, we challenge you to take action today to change the world and invest in yourself.